Hello everyone, Fangs of Fire here. Welcome to another Duos and Dark Horse match. Today we are watching Mettking from Team Surprising Return play as the Hunters versus CombatWombat of Team Plotting to Punch playing as Dracula. So from the first week, apologies. The first week, Team Surprising Return actually fared the best. So for both that reason and the fact that Team Plotting to Punch, sadly did not get a win in the first week, I am rooting for CombatWombat because it will definitely be good for team morale if he can get a win on the board, no matter how scarce. So for that reason, I would definitely prefer if CombatWombat wins. One way or the other, it's one can hope. So what we know about these players, Mettking has been around. I don't know exactly how long, but he competed in the League of Dracula 2023, so he's been around for. So he is definitely a seasoned player. CombatWombat, however, is more of a newcomer. But that being said, his opponent in the first week was Scott Sword of all people, and he got a pretty reasonable amount of IDS. So gave Scott Sword quite a reasonable challenge. Okay, pistol and planned ambush. So that being the case, Mettking haven't got on for peace with his setup. Okay, so that being the case, CombatWombat definitely stands a chance. It's not just closed and shut due to who the participants are. It never is, or at least shouldn't ever be. Whoa. CombatWombat dark calling immediately. No, not even the slightest prompt, so not roadblocks or storms. Okay, so as I've discussed in the past, I don't really approve of dark calling unless you have already laid down your first encounter. But that being said, the opportunity was there, and it may not be there this Dracula phase. And what's more, he won't be able to misdirect this location, and it will be vulnerable to the immediate newspaper effect. Yeah, so he wouldn't have gotten the chance to dark call for a Drac event, but despite that, I think it's of more value to keep your starting location obfuscated for a little bit longer, so as to not take that sort of risk. And that being said, if it doesn't get hit, and he moves along, it's risk reward at that point. He can, whether or not he misdirects it is his choice, but I would still misdirect it, and then it'll be dark call that's right there. So it won't be until the first it will still not be until the first encounter that that Mettking would learn anything, at least from newspaper reports, that is. Doing a rumor token on his first encounter right off the bat. Since you already dark called, I definitely would have waited a little bit. For instance, as a precaution, like if, well, now that's interesting. This is the second game that I've streamed that that I've streamed neutral perspective where that's happened, that's definitely very convenient. It kind of ups the clock and gives the hunters a little less time to, admittedly only one fewer days time before the first thing matures. I mean, that being said, it could be, this could also be the case. So he could easily have poked a hoax under that, because now that he could just fetch that hidden schemes right back if there's nothing better. Although there being nothing better is definitely unlikely. There are plenty of things that are at least just as good as hidden schemes, if not better, and a good number that are better. Like, what would those 4 cards have to be for me to choose hidden schemes? Probably, and for one thing, since it's face up, the hunters would know that you picked it, so there's no obfuscation there. That very seldom comes up, but it is a fact. Like, what things would those have to be? Likely one of them would have to be sensationalist press, and then possibly CombatWombat might turn down 2 wild horses, and or if there's more than 1 copy of hidden schemes in there. I mean, wild horses are stronger than they look. Oh. Yes. What to do? E4. Okay. Let's. Whoops. In VC3. If so. Messieurs, want to join for COCOM? And VC3. If so. Yeah, I was searching for a COCOM before the match, but I didn't have the best of luck. Okay, so risk reward, it is paid off so far. I mean, mind you, there's really no playing around Dawn or Dusk's phase side of newspaper reports. So, okay. Oh well, but so what sort of things would he want to poke under there? Bodyguards, hoax. I mean, after he rumored that, almost certainly not a vampire. Rufus Smith. Okay. Rufus. There's a lot of hot debate about Rufus versus Aggie. I mean, if you've been following this channel for any reasonable amount of time, you'll already know that. But in my opinion, Rufus is at least more consistent than Aggie. He's not a better ally than Aggie, but he is a more consistent one. Okay, local rumors, no. And he checked Madrid for any of those who missed that with Rufus. I like that, searching with it, so that you can do the surprising return later. Okay, scouts. What do we got? Where are we poking around? We'll see. Neither Florence or Manchester. Okay. Florence and Manchester. So checking for, like, southern, or, like, central Italy and England start. Interesting to choose Florence instead of Rome. But okay, I get it. I've seen plenty of people put their first encounter at Florence, and make their starting location Florence. So, I get it. It's definitely like there's almost no hard flat out mistake. I mean, a mistake would have been him checking Madrid again, or him choosing a spot next to Seward. That would have been a mistake. At this stage, you're just trying to find something. It doesn't matter where you hit. So long as you get a hit, well, you got a hit. So, next on, the question is, does Mettking have a newspaper report? Mina's showing charred carriage now. Interesting. Okay, no newspaper. That's good for CombatWombat. Okay. Oh, is that a newspaper? Yep. He chose to go with the immediately. Galatz. Alright. So that means that this first encounter is either at Klausenberg or Bucharest, and that this card here is the other location. More likely than not, this one is Klausenberg is the first one. So the question is, how quickly do the hunters get moving? I mean, since this has an encounter that he specifically chose after it was already a couple spaces down the track, from due to hidden schemes, if it'll really depend on does Goldaming or Mina have a horse? If Mina is not showing a horse, so therefore more likely than not she doesn't have one, as you tend to show the horse when you can. She was showing a rifle at the beginning, unless I'm mistaken. So there's been no reason to... Apparently Mettking likes to answer the questions from the Postmaster Forum as he goes, by the looks of things. As one of the questions in the forum is, when was Dracula's trail... How was Dracula's... the first aspect of Dracula's trail revealed, and when? Okay, chartered carriage. That gets me up to the Galatz. So I would assume that there will be either a saboteur, bats, possibly even a fog there. Oh, well then, is this a heroic leap play or something? Because you knew that one of these had to be Klausenberg and the other Bucharest. He very deliberately did not go all the way to Galatz. Is that a misclick or something? Okay, I personally would not have ambushed, but okay. Take the 1-1. If he has heroic leap, let him burn it. Then you can feed, get the majority of the... then at some point when you have an opening, feed. And so on. Do Desecrated Soils, which at the very least will give you card draw to help you get the fog back after it's triggered later. I don't know what he has in his hand, but okay, apparently, okay, it's excellent weather. So that was not heroic leap play. So that was very, very bold on Mettking to do that. It's possible that he did not. I'm guessing that he was hoping that that this was the first location, and that Dracula was in Klausenberg. So, but now Mina can move to Klausenberg and deal with it now. and now deal with it. So what does Dracula do here? Personally, I would just... Personally, I might go to Belgrade. Belgrade? Sorry, sorry for that. Belgrade, Sophia is fine. Just keep moving. Keep laying down more trail. You're not in any serious danger yet. Ein. Okay, fast horse. So Guldoming will deal with Klausenberg, and then Mina will start the process of taking care of Galatz. If I am reading this correctly. I mean, Seward had best start getting on the move, so that he can block off Munich and such. I mean, it may be that he's just drawn dud items. I mean, that Garlic Wreath discard reinforces that particular thought. Because Dracula could have moved to Belgrade, then Sarajevo, Zagreb, and so on. And then he's into the center of the board, where it can be very difficult to track down exactly what he does. A hoax, yep, to be expected. Trade with Mina, okay. No, she still has excellent weather. Okay, what have we got in here? An aristocratic vamp. And bats. Probably should have ambushed with the bats. That would stall her for longer. Bat her out, put her in this lair that you're about to make. Well, I suppose then you would have battered her by night instead. But, so, yeah, there's pros and cons to both. But in this case, CombatWombat will be able to bat him into whatever encounter he just put in that Klausenberg lair. Possibly do some damage. Possibly bat her into a reckless vampire or something. Whatever he happens to have in his hand. But I would say that Mettking is definitely off to a good start. He's dealt with the first batch, the initial hoax into vampire. But, of course, the game is far from over. Because he did spend a charred carrot to do that, so it wasn't like without a price, you might say. Yeah, let's see. Goldowing has 2 events. Mina has 2. Van Seward has 3, and Van Helsing also has 2. Okay. They have quite a few events, all of them being only 1 shy of their max hand limit. So, and the thing is, if you put a vampire here, he can now bat Mina into a night fight, which could definitely turn out very nasty. Trading between Seward and Van Helsing? Okay. So, yep, batting her into the lair. And the thing is, if this is a wolves or something like that, okay, it's not. But had it been a wolves or a mob, that would have affected Guldaming too, since he's in the city. Okay, Mina discarded the rifle, and showing holy bullets now. Okay, so she had, I'm guessing, another gun. The holy bullets, and because she hasn't shown, she didn't show a stake when she searched that, despite it being at night. Or no, that was that nighttime? Yeah, that was a. No, that was a daytime search. So so more likely than not, she does not have a stake, since that was a daytime search. Yeah, and now I mean, Dracula could be at Zagreb. He could be, like, he could have looped around Black Sea coast and is down in Sofia. Okay, Guldaming gets a slow horse. I suppose that means I'll check Belgrade, I would assume. As that would be Dracula's path, immediate path west. And that helps you narrow down what he's done. That's at least what I would do. Okay, didn't go to Belgrade. Local. Okay, well that's the second local room is gone. There's still both evil presence cards for proxy events, but both local rooms got rather. The second one, of course, being completely wasted, as we kind of knew that already. He could still be at Zagreb if he went Sofia, Sarajevo, Zagreb. But, what I would really like to see is a wolf form. Make it, or what I would really like to see is to have him had gone Black Sea coast and is now in Sofia, but wolf form. That'll make them think that you went west. Might delay that would, at least in theory, make them think that you went west. So I think that this would definitely be a good time for it. So that might delay them in getting to your encounters on the Black Sea coast, because they check, say, Zagreb and other places first. Check Sarajevo, Zagreb first. And of course, there could always be a hide card thrown in. Like he could be about to move into Sofia, or wolf form from Varna to Valona or Salonika, or for that matter even Sarajevo. Although Sarajevo would be a bit of a daring move. Okay, place a rumor token. This time I don't really mind, because this means that he's gone onto it, and since you can't place a rumor token on a turn where you dark call, like in the event that there's still a Drac event on top for at the beginning of the next Drac phase, that leaves an opening for another dark call event. Okay, horsing 2. Okay, checking Valona, and he has not been there. However, at this point, with 4 cards down on the trail and him having not gone to Belgrade, okay, a stake discard. That's interesting. He is guaranteed to have been at Sofia at some point, because even if he hid, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. with him it being in Sophia right now. Okay, that higher scouts is actually definitely a good draw. Because now he can... Okay, he did go... Oh! So it was Sofia, Sarajevo, Zagreb. So he's at Munich now. Oh ho! That's good news for Drac. But now the news is out, and Seward and Van Helsing are in this area. I'm not sure why Seward hasn't moved yet. Even to go up with Van Helsing to possibly trade items. I'm guessing. Actually, my guess is that the other two. We've only seen one horse. I'm guessing that the other two horses have been rather buried deep in the deck, and that's why Seward hasn't started moving yet. So, since that scout's revealing Sarajevo has kind of announced where you are, so therefore I wouldn't Dark Call here. I would just Wolf Form. Oh, okay. Right, check it prompt. So, what will Dracula do? Will he Dark Call again? But I definitely wouldn't, because Renewed Vigor could mean he does Sense of Emergency. Seward does Sense of Emergency, Walk. Yeah, good. Van Helsing could have done Sense of Emergency, in theory. And then Goldamin can just Horse plus Walk. And Mina, well, she may not be able to get there, but that's at least a 3 on... But that would be a 3-on-1. And the thing is, there are other ways that they could have gotten there. So Goldamin does need to check on Sophia. Oh? Okay, he forgot that it came from there, and not Sophia. He slow rolled, so he didn't get to check Sophia right away. So that was actually a wasted move. So that's... Yep, Mettking realizing his mistake. Yeah, it's definitely very annoying when you make such silly mistakes like that. When it was dead obvious that that was the answer. But, well, mistakes happen, so what can you say? Okay, what card does me discard here? Oh, discarded an Excellent Weather, but is still showing the other one. Wow. Okay, so Mia had both Excellent Weather cards. Probably why he's willing to give up one of them. But now, if Dracula is paying attention to that, he knows that there is only one Excellent Weather, and Mina has it. The other one is just out of the game. Unless we go through the entire event deck, which is possible. It has already happened in this tournament, but highly unlikely. Okay, so approximately now a few days into week 2, so Dracula has so CombatWombat has definitely recovered a little bit, and that unfortunately wasted day action and will slow Mettking down a little. I imagine how he's going to do it will be send Gul'daming to Sofia, send Mina to Zagreb, and then do Gul'daming to Sarajevo, Mina to Munich to clear this part of the trail. Basically take it in twos. Alright. Okay. Yeah. Or is he gonna let something mature to try to compensate? That's intriguing. Do we have another charred carriage then? Could be. New vampire. Okay. I mean, since he sent Gul'daming here instead of Mina, who could have walked, it's not at all unreasonable to think that Gul'daming might have a stake, especially with there being only 5 cards left in the draw pile. I mean, Sewer did discard 1, but okay, Mesmerize, up, punch. Huh. Yeah, so it is not at all unreasonable to assume that Lord Gul'daming will have a stake. Yeah, making the reference to his team name, plotting to get punched. Team name, of course, is plotting to punch. But, well, I'm... Okay, claws. Pistol. Oh, gracious. Okay, fortunately, there's holy bullets. Fortunately, since it's mesmerized, he is mesmerized, I didn't quite do it. So he had the poor man's stake, as we put it, through holy bullets. So, now, at this point, Gul'daming has shown you that he's here to fight. You want to do... he has now shown you his entire hand. Yeah, you want to do strength. You just want to play strengths, and at this point, Gul'daming has shown that he has no anti-Fang card. So after that dodge, Fang. That way you can heal up a little. Gul'daming has shown his entire hand. Escape is missed. That's good too. So that means that new vampire will take up even more of the hunter's time. And the thing is, I mean, Sophia's about to mature. Who knows what that is? It could be a hoax. It could be the second hoax card for all we know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that, with 11 drag events, so he would get a drag event, and he would shuffle 10 more back into the deck, which, Dronsura discarding another stake. Okay, it seems as if there have been quite a few stakes stuffed at the bottom of the deck as well. This is looking like some very awkward event situation in terms of how the events have fallen. Okay, I imagine Mia will throw away the holy bullets, because the fact that he can see them means that he will play oh, no, he's going to stick with having the holy bullets, so obviously Mia does have a gun. Either that or she plans to trade it to Gul'daming. But with holy bullets shown, CombatWombat will know that it's there, and therefore it's nowhere near as likely to happen. So, alright, let's Let's see what happens here. Is it something good? Hmm. Oh. Apparently it simply wasn't worth maturing. I'd a guess that was probably the second Bats or a Saboteur or something. Well, Mecking's like gamble, if you want to call it that, paid off. So that's definitely good news for a Mettking. But on the other hand, I mean, if Dracula does go back into the East, I mean, for that matter, in theory, he could be there now. He could have gone. He could have wolfed to Sajed, and then after Goldaming moved out to deal with Zagreb, he could have moved to Belgrade. In theory, that could be the case. Whether or not he did, that would have been a very daring play. But but if he did, I mean, he's ready to start stepping into lairs and creating bigger threats. Things that are even bigger. Like he could go to Sophia and plop down a third encounter card. If he did that, which I have my doubts about. Okay, so so Van Helsing found one of the other two horses. Daytime trading to give Goldaming the holy bullets, I imagine. Okay, but that means that he's committing to letting Sarajevo mature as well. It makes me wonder if Mecking's being a little too risky with that, because that could be a second hoax. It could be all sorts. I mean, at this stage, it could literally be anything. Oh, that was a Knight's Play. Combat. So that was either Roadblock or Summon Storm, so the fact that he could have played it immediately. So all the other ones that you can play immediately, you must play immediately, so far as I can recall. Oh, wow! He actually is there. So in that case, it's time to start stepping in lairs. Make it play Wakajic and Wakajic / Spencer Wolfhart style. Wow, I am definitely impressed with this. All right, bodyguards. Very nice, mature. Very nice. Okay, so now from Belgrade, he can step into Bucharest. Or he could go to Sofia as well. Interesting. Chose the location that was not a lair. I mean, he could have gone to Sarajevo since that just matured. Or this could also be a hide card. So, we know that this location is in Austro-Hungary. I mean, it could, in theory, be Prague, but that would mean that he did something like Wolfram up to there, then Berlin, Prague. Okay. Or no, that would have been like Wolfram Hyde in Prague, which would have been extremely risky. Okay, so now, so Seward has the third horse. So that means that Mina is the only one without the horse. Okay. This is interesting, to be sure. So, is he just gonna let the vampire mature? I don't think so. Yes, the vampire. I mean, obviously, do not ambush, because he. It would seem that he is intending to do this via holy bullets. I would not ambush. That is only inviting trouble. And what's more, since Mina doesn't have a horse, I mean, she could have a stake, although it's less likely, as there were 2 stake discards, which means that Seward likely already had one. So I would say that stake number 3 is likely over here. Alright. Any combat events? No. So, night fight. So, this may seem crazy, but I would I might consider fanging first, because he will likely start off with punch. Okay, that was plotting. That seems to say bad combat hand to me. Okay. But at the very least, Zagreb did take up more of the hunter's time. So, it at least made them have to spend some of their resources in time. This actually could be... This place could actually be Vienna. Or... Yeah, because at that point, both Mina and Goldaming had moved out of it. So this could be Wolfram back to Klausenberg. And now he's about to go to... Okay, he removed the glass there. Interesting. Not going into any of the lairs. I would definitely, if you're in the area, I would definitely visit the Sophia there, because with 3 encounters, that won't be a pleasant thought trying to attack you there, as that could be like 2 mobs and a wolves, for instance. No. So it was Wolfram that from Munich. So that means that the Wolfram location is either it has to be Szeged for this to be real. For this to be real. Okay, a new vampire. Since there wasn't a rumor token on it, I might have just let him search it by night. Fangs? Okay. This is a reckless vampire, so you don't get a point, but it's damage. Just exchanging banter. Okay, so I imagine Van Helsing will go to Vienna, or potentially go to Zagreb so that they can scan again. and, oh right, that's a lair now. So yeah, which is why he is not revealing on any item cards. I mean, he could have a pistol or rifle, but he's not going to tell. Alright, so what will Mina do? Yeah, flip with the wolf form. Okay. So, I'm pretty sure that Stewart has a stake due to the fact that he discarded 2 stakes over there while he was still in Bordeaux. So I'm pretty sure he has one. Oh, Reckless Vampire. I can't say I like this ambush. I can't say I like that one. Because Mean could just play a gun and then blast it with holy bullets. The vampire has to play rather defensive here. Plotting? Okay. Well, it was only a punch. Now then, mesmerize again into the dodge. Okay, that's so. Since there is holy bullets, I would likely do, and especially since he did dodge instead of escape there, I would likely do a. I would. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's the vampire dead. He gets a point, but the vampire is dead because of the holy bullets. So, I imagine that Pizza Wizard will like to see this video. Will like to see my replay of this game, or not necessarily even mine. Mettking is that, if I'm not mistaken, is recording his perspective. So, I imagine that he'll be rather happy to see 2 holy bullets uses already. Mind you, if Seward does not have a stake and chooses to let this mature, then that's kind of wasted resources. You gave Dracula a point, spent the holy bullets, so therefore Seward, yep, okay, as expected, but there was always the slim chance that was not the case. Okay, Van Helsing being delayed. Okay. The downside of holy bullets is, of course, Mina is now down an item. So, from Sajed, I think that one of them is Belgrade. The next one is Belgrade. Then he went back to Sarajevo. Then possibly hid, and then went to Sarajevo, or possibly Klausenberg. Honestly, I don't know. But if you're in Sarajevo, I would go to Sofia. Renewed Vigor has become super scary, but okay, cleared the Bucharest lair. Yeah, it's very important to keep on top of which layers he has, as that can give us information as to where he's going. I'm guessing that he is in Klausenberg, about to go there. Alright. I could definitely see a renewed vigor play here, as you have 3 with horses, at least on the eastern border, on the border to the east. But it just doesn't have all that much information. There's so many crossroads in this area that he could be... I mean, you know that he has not gone on to Sophia, which does limit things somewhat. Surprising return. Okay, gonna fetch Rufus again. Use it for a search. Gets a... Oh! Yep. Just as I... Yep, this is not good. Yeah, Mettking caught on to the pattern. Will Dracula have a fog down? We'll see. And what's more, will Godalming have a Godalming have a forewarned? I mean, he chose not to ambush Godalming, so that's irrelevant in this particular case. So Van Helsing can simply horse to Belgrade or Sofia. Behind the veil, it summons storms. Okay. Discarding an aristocratic. Okay. And mind you, Dracula is at full health, and he'll be getting wolf form back. So long as he survives the combat, and he does have, and what's more, he has bodyguards too. So long as he survives the combat, he can always wolf form into Castle Dracula if he really must. But, oh, is that the situation where Stewart can't get there? I mean, if we're talking about, okay, since he didn't move onto the rail line, yes, that is the case. Oh, and then since the saboteur is still there, oh, forewarning a saboteur? Okay, I imagine CombatWombat's happy about that. I mean, the alternative was that Seward gets no second action, but I honestly would have just accepted that. So that ended up... So that is one forewarned gone for a very small price for... And what's more, that was... Since that was from a lair, that was actually very, very good for CombatWombat. Okay, Van Helsing. Now, where will he go? Klausenberg, Belgrade, or Sofia? Sofia, he knows, is a lair with 2 encounters. One, I mean, there could easily be a Baths. Okay, it's gonna be Sofia. Alright. Yeah, Mettking is stepping into a lot of lairs. This may be intentional to stop any potential... Okay, mob. Alright. Taking 3. And bodyguards. So that really roughs Van Helsing up. Showing a knife. So he has... I'm guessing it's the standard horse, knife, heavenly host hand then. For him to show a knife. Oh, still moving in? I don't like this. Keep in mind that there's a bodyguard that matured, so he can be targeted again to be hit all the way down to 1. To the point where even with a great strength around, he'll just die if he gets hit by claws. So, I can't say I like that. I think Mettking may have forgotten about the bodyguards for sure. Okay, Mina going there by train. Okay, wolves. Okay, is there a second forewarned? Mina. Does Van Helsing have a second weapon? Because if not, he is simply dead. Okay, he does. It's double knife. He had no choice but to show that, otherwise he would die to this. So all he has to do to kill Van Helsing is target him with claws. So this is actually far more balanced than it looks. I mean, 3v1 is not good by any means, obviously. But just target... Oh, scouts? Okay. Well, yep. Alright, so he went Szeged, Klausenberg, Galatz, Hyde, Bucharest. So I would hit Van Helsing with this, so that even if he has great strength, and what's more, that would mean that you wouldn't need a claw specifically to proc the great strength. You could just strength into the knife, and he would be forced to either play great strength or die. But the question is, will he... Oh, he chose Gul'daming. Interesting. Oh, no item. No weaponry. Oh. Oh, boy. This is not good for the hunters. They have 2 hunters in claw range. I mean, Mina, and the only person who has the planned ambush is the one who is not. So, I would begin by clawing... I would actually begin... I would begin by fanging Gul'daming, maybe? Honestly, I don't know. It depends on what sort of combat hand I get. The fact that he didn't have a weapon is definitely a very good information. So that means that he almost certainly has a heavenly host. And he has full health. This could really go sideways for Mettking. So Van Helsing, has no way to block claws apart from dodge. So if you have double claws in hand, you can get him out of the fight. For sure. I mean, with the exception of great strength being in play, of course. Okay, chose Van Helsing. Claws. Answer, yes. Is it a dodge? No, it is not. Okay, so that's... The fact that he so willingly did that seems to say that he has great... No, he does not have great strength. Okay, so Van Helsing is down. I'm guessing that it's going to be a heavenly host from Gul'daming. Yep. Now the question is, does he have the second clause? So he has already made it a 2v1. Okay, slight mistake for him to show Mina, choose Heavenly Host right off the bat with Mina having planned ambush in play, but I mean that's what he wants to do anyway, in this case. But in other cases, like had he targeted Mina with a fangs, he would have wanted to change it, but he would have given away the fact that Mina had it. And the thing is, with the death of Van Helsing, that's now 2 knives in the discard pile. And since the deck recently resets, they are going to have a very hard time getting those knives back, which is actually quite a big deal. Okay, chose Mina. Fangs? She did play the Heavenly Host. Okay, well, it's healing. There's no Aggie. It at least neutralizes the pistol. So now he could choose either of them and claw them. Oh, whoa. Good thing for him that he chose Mina. So that means that he dealt 2 damage to Mina. In effect, because the damage is moot. He's still at 7. So this combat is going very well for CombatWombat. He is living up to his name in that regards. So now, the question is, let me see, how many items does Mina have? She picked up, she has the pistol and 1 other item. So, but the question is, what is that last item? Is it another gun that she can play now to offensively block claws? I mean, he knows that he has no way of offensively blocking claws. Okay, mesmerize. Try to escape. Alright. And does that mean that Mina is also doing that? Because typically, okay, now Goldaming is definitely in a bit of trouble. Because now he could either get... He may... I mean, he would probably welcome getting fanged at this point. So, what Goldaming has is a horse and a crucifix. Okay, plotting. Very good play. Very good play. So now, with plotting played, he can just fetch the second clause and kill Goldaming as well. So that'll be 2 hunters down, which is another 8 points from the one he had previously. So that's 2 horses down, 2 knives down. That's 2 heavenly hosts spent. This is starting to look very, very good for CombatWombat. Because, and presumably by common sense, CombatWombat would pick up claws. Because this will put 2 hunters in hospital. I could even see him doing a feed. Well, except that he doesn't have feed. Yep. Goodbye, Goldaming. Yep. He cancels it because we know what's about to happen. The fact that there was no prompt. So that is wow, monster fight. Okay, I probably shouldn't say that now. A very monster fight. That definitely did go very sideways for Mettking. So he just, I know I've already said this, but he lost 2 horses, 2 knives, and what's more, 4 tickets, among which there are almost certainly going to be at least 1, if not 2 white ones, possibly all 3. An off chance that the night supply. Yeah. So we know that one of his events is summon storms, thanks to Behind the Veil. So now, and the thing is, Mina doesn't seem to be all that well armed. So, yeah, that plotting into the crucifix was definitely a very good play. So that was so well done, CombatWombat. Very excellent fight. So even if you lose this game, you have very much limited Mettking's IDS already. I mean, there could be a Vampire Lair, but the thing is, Vampire Lair wouldn't do much in terms of reducing the clock for Fury of Dracula points. So, yeah, it is a good question. It is a good question as to what do you do right now as Dracula. I think I would likely wolf form. Wolf form. But you want to have that for after the sea voyage. And well, he's already spent 1 surprising return. Okay, so he took out the Sajed lair. Oh, so you... Unfortunately, by doing that, you kind of announced where you're going. But, yeah, it would appear that by clearing the Sajed lair, he's going to wolf form. I simply hope that he's learned his lesson and is not going to wolf form to Sajed. I would do it either to Sarajevo and try to slip through past them while they're still supplying back up, or go to Valona and then ferry the Adriatic. Because with so many heavenly hosts out of commission, it's even if you just land at Bari, they can't force you back out to sea. They could force you to feed or hide, yes. I would go for Valona. We know that's now yeah, that is an immense advantage for Combat Wombat. Oh, whoa. Okay, I consider mentioning that play, but I I didn't think that was the best idea. I Okay. Aina, does Mina have a yellow 2 ticket there? Does he even want to send Mina with her having only 4 HP? And the thing is, this could be a reckless a reckless and aristocratic vampire that's about to mature and finish the win. Okay, but Mina is apparently going to see that does not happen. Rats? Okay. Oh. Okay, she apparently had dogs. Bats. Okay. So now he can steer her into whatever he has at Geneva. So Seward almost certainly has the last knife. They went through the entire deck, so that last knife has to be somewhere. Mina didn't show it during that combat, and logic states that she would. So I think that Seward has the final knife. There is still one more heavenly host somewhere, presumably also presumably with Seward. So he has a horse and 2 other things. Horse. Let me see. How many guns are in the discard? Almost none, but that's because they reshuffled. Basically, what I would do is just focus on trying to counter what Seward does. Because Goldaming is hardly kitted out to fight you. Fangs and Heavenly Host. So Dracula guesses correctly, so he gets the healing. So now Mettking is definitely in trouble. So now Drac does mesmerize and then just bites. Gets another point, makes him be 3 off, and then he simply has to survive long enough. Plotting. Up. Okay, so Goldaming got off lightly there. Okay, but must have not had much else in his hand. But the ideal situation there would have been that he escaped his bat, because then he could escape his bat, then escape his bat to Munich, and then wolf form to a spot like, say, Marseille, Geneva. Basically, go far west with that. Okay. Yeah. So now Mina will likely get batted into Galatz or to into the castle? Okay. Very well. So Sven Helsing is still in the hospital, so he can't give chase next turn. Goldaming Goldaming did supply by night, which that was kind of a risk he had to take. Does he go to the Klausenberg lair? Mia's delayed, so she won't be able to join in. I think... In this position, what would I do? And it kind of depends on what those Drac events are. What the second Drac event is. We know that one of them is... We know that one of them is Summon Storms. But what's the other one? If it's Unearthly Swiftness, then you might want to use that now. Get a little bit more distance. And get the feed card back. Yeah. Nonetheless, this is definitely a very good game. Regardless, I mean, the Hunters can still recover from this. There is still a second Renewed Vigor potentially somewhere, but mind you, the Hunters did lose 3 events, potentially one of them being excellent that Renewed Vigor or even CG. Okay? So it's going to be a 1v1 Seward versus they do have Vampire Lair, which, I mean, if the Reckless scores a Fang point, that will matter in the long haul. Mesmerize. Escape, yeah. Typical fight. So, I'm pretty sure that Seward does have a knife. But what's the other card, is the question. I think, simply based off of probability, most likely some kind of gun. Okay, some damage in. Yeah, he was expecting a plotting. But, mind you, okay, so he is mesmerized, so if I were the vampire, I would either do Fangs or Strength, based on whether or not... I mean, Mez would do fine as well. Okay. Okay, now, will Seward punch again? Will he dodge? Will he knife? I think I would likely do plotting, because in 2 of those 3 instances, you land a plotting, and okay, Strength. It was a punch. Okay, now, this may be GG here and now, because if Seward dies, that is just that's already the IDS to win. Claws. Escape. So he's down to 1. So even if they've drawn great strength in the meantime, one nighttime claws hit will kill him. But I'm pretty sure that Seward has some kind of gun. That is definitely the statistically likely thing, as there were quite a lot of guns in the item deck, pistols and rifles alike. Oh, that's amusing. Okay, Mia's delayed, therefore can't help Seward. Alright. If he can take out Seward, then it's GG. Yeah, that was definitely a very well sprung trap. I think that Mettking may have been able to do a little bit better in avoiding the lairs, but what's done is done. Okay, Mez. So he also has the option to Fang, because he's already bitten. What is Seward showing? Horse and Vampire there, right? So if Dracula lands either a Fang or a Claws, or if they don't have great strength, also a Okay, fangs, knife. Nope, that is GG. That is GG. GG, well played. Congrats, CombatWombat. Congrats, CombatWombat. That is a 9 IDS win. Yes. You got your team on the board. Alright, man. Good work. You got your team on the board. Post game chat. Game chat. Chat. If so, I'm in VC3. Let's see if either of them. Okay. Well done, CombatWombat. Let's see if either of them agree to an interview, to a post-game interview. The final Drac event was seduction. If you want to join, if either of you, crazy game. That renewed vigor play could have done it. Okay, so CombatWombat can't. And I imagine after a loss like that, Mettking will hardly want to talk about it. Yeah, he'll hardly want to talk about that. Yeah, so in that case, the crazy game. So really, it just boils down to the fact that that Mettking, since there are so many like AOE and damaging encounters in layers surrounding it in Bucharest, a lot of the hunters got very severely damaged, and well, as a result, he was able to take advantage of that and kill 2 hunters, and then it just spiraled out of control. So this CombatWombat really lived up to his aim this time. He got close to Scotsword, but now he has successfully defeated Mettking for 9 IDS points. That is, it is definitely good to see CombatWombat get his team on the board, and yeah, as soon as after that 3v1, it was just in under CombatWombat's control almost, but I mean, it could have been recoverable, but the loss of the horses and the knives, I think, proved to be just too much. And what's more, the hunters only had one more week's time, so if they had allowed him to get too far away, not sure if they would have been able to catch up. According to Mettking, Van Helsing lost CG when he died, so that's what became of that. But again, good game. Not a bad effort at Mettking, and well done by CombatWombat. Should you come back and watch this? Very well played. And well, thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this stream or video if you are watching this back on YouTube. Well, I what can